Hello, Tadeusz. I'm about to instruct you on how to use the Guitar Pro. I'm just opening a file here. Let me see. Hell. Scores. I don't know. Let's take any old song, the first one. And I'll show you my keyboard viewer. That means if I press something, say number 1 here, you should be able to see that the one down here. No, it doesn't. Again. Oh, there you go. You see it blinks darker when I press it. It's the best I can do at the moment. I hope you can figure it out. Anyway, so this is the screen, all of this, on which you can see the score. There are several ways to view it. I have here screen horizontal. That's my preferred method. If you have it on page, it goes like this into pages and you have to scroll through them. I find that I sort of lose my overview quite easily when I have it on that one. So I usually have it on screen. You can have screen vertical, means you sort of go down through the whole thing. I like to have it all in one long line, screen horizontal. So I go towards the right all the way out. And I also have all the music, all the tracks on at the same time here. That's not necessary. What I usually do when I work on the music is I press this one here, switch single track to multi-track. So now I'm on single track and I can see only the drum track now. So to have a better overview, if your eyesight isn't so good, you can increase it up here to 150%. And this area down here is sort of the mixer, and of course you can turn everything up and down here, and you can also navigate quite easily. If you want to jump between, say, the drum part here or the bass part there, by one press, you get back and forth. If you don't want to see that, up here, you can turn it off, and all you see is your drum track. What are we on here? No, we're on the bass. So let's go back to the drums. Is Valtteri here? I'll just, in honor of Tadeusz, change the name of this track to Tadeusz. There we go. Cool. So yeah, I like to leave this mixer on so I can easily jump between the sections and see where I am at any given time. Let's go to the drums here. As we can see over here, this song is in 4/4. That is quite important. I'm not sure if you have any insight into rhythm notation. In any case, let's just start working on something. The very basic stuff here is if I press, if I go to the first space between these 5 lines, the lowest space, and press 1, I get a kick. And the snare is on the third space, second from the top, third from the bottom, also on 1. There are two symbols, to my knowledge at least, in this program, and they are just above the top line on 4 there, and the other one on 4 here. So I'm pressing number 4 to insert those, and I'm using, I hope you can see, the arrows to navigate between all these spaces. And on the top line here, we have the hi-hat, and there are 3. 1, 2, and 3. So they vary in tightness, how tight the hi-hat is held. I tend to like the open one on number 3 here. Then there are the toms. The first one is here on the no, that was a ride of some kind, I think. Or is it a symbol? I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, in the first space here on number 1, I have tom 1, and make this 8th on space number, on line number 2 from the top. On number 1 there's tom 2, and on the middle line there's tom 3. On the second space from the bottom on number 1 there's tom 4, and on the second line from the bottom on number 1 there's tom 5. So 5 toms. How does this sound? To play it back, just press space. Oh, we don't want to hear the other music. We want to solo the drums here. Nice piece of music here. So you see this bar turns red now, the third bar of our drums here, when I leave it, and that means the bar is not full. So this song is 4/4. You need a total of 1. These are 8ths. These with one line between them here, and 8/8 add up to 1. So we make this chord note and a half note. So you have 2 there, and 2/8 is 1 there, and 2/8 is 1 there. So this is 4. Now when you leave this bar, it is not red anymore, and it adds up. What else is there? There's not anything else that I really use. Yeah, there could be. Let's go here and make, I think on the very top, that means we are where? On top of the first additional line, press 1, and you get a China. So what I do sometimes, I don't use more than this to make the drums, but sometimes I explore what is there. You press number 2 here, you get a shorter China. Press number 3 here, there's nothing. So up here on number 1, there's a splash, and on number 2, there's a shorter splash. Number 3, there's nothing. So there's probably nothing more. And on this one, what the hell is that? On this one, was the hi-hat. On number 1, another hi-hat. On number 2, we did all those. And on number 4, there was the crash. On number 5, there's a shorter crash. And so I don't have a complete overview at the moment, I must say, and what is where. But you see, you have these rides also, and all manner of sounds. So these are all, what I did here is I go to the top line and I just try what number 1 does, try what number 2 does, try what number 3 does, until you have the sound that you're looking for. So on this one, there's only the tom, nothing else. On this one, that was number 2, does nothing. Oh, that was number 4. I'm not sure what that is even. Oh dear, what the hell is that? Motherfucker. And here was the snare. Let's delete that. Number 2 has a rim shot. Number 3 has a different snare. What was that? Number 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's something. And so on. So yeah, I haven't gone through these. You might want to do that, sort of figure out which drums are where, and that is something you need to memorize properly before you can do anything fast and easy with this one. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, and once you really have it, composing drums will be a walk in the park. This method is much faster than the tab method, where you have to memorize different numbers, but to really have an overview of the rhythm of it, I definitely suggest working in the notes rather than the tabs, because the notes display the rhythm that you're working on. Anyway, if you're not familiar with rhythm, that is a story all on its own. So here I put the kick in 4/4. So now the bar is full. 4/4 adds up to 1, and sounds like this. Okay, this is not really drums. So then I'll put the snare in here and delete the kick. So then you have this one. Now, of course, if you make them 8s, they go twice as fast. I do this by pressing the plus button, as I hope you can see on the trackpad, keyboard pad. So now we have this one. Might want to use a count in. So this icon here is activates or deactivates the count in. Might be convenient to use sometimes. So it's counted now. In any case, I hope you see what I mean here. So if you want to do it slower than fourths, of course you go to half notes, and I do this by pressing the minus button, go down from eighths to fourths to half notes, and then put the snare up here, and it would sound like this. If you want, say, the double kick on the 16th down here, you do something like this. And where would the snare go? Just for the sake of this one, put it there, and you would start with crash, and then hi-hats. So you see here I use first the half open, the really open, the half open, just make some variation in it. Doesn't really help, this sounds horrible in any case, but what I have here is this. Oh motherfucker, this is, oh yeah, this is on tempo of 200, this is not what I meant. I'll copy this out to this bar, delete this part, and put this back down to eighths, from 16 to eighths by pressing minus, and it should sound like this. Yeah, this is not really suitable for this song, but you see how it works, I hope. Now triplets might be something you might want to use in some songs if it's convenient. You have 2/8 here, for example. You could play it in triplets, play the kick in triplets. So what I do is I mark this one and I press Shift and 7, that is backslash, and it goes to triplets. Now we need one extra. Now I press Command and plus, and it inserts one. If inserts it as a break, but then I may go here and press 1, and it becomes a kick again. So this might be more of the feeling that you use at this tempo. If I were to do this all the way, just for the sake of it, I will just copy this one because it's the same over here. Why does it do that, I wonder? I have no idea. Probably because of the snare. This one turns upside down or downside up, and I think you can force it all to turn in one direction, but it's not important at this point. So with triplets, it would sound like this, of course. So one of the problems of this program is the kick is very loud, the toms are very low. This is Guitar Pro, this is not made for good drums. So what I like to do is keep the drums, the toms, whenever, if I were to make say a fill over the last part of this rhythm I just made. We start here, just putting in 6 toms. I would change the power or the intensity of this one by going over to the what would I call it? There's the intensity or loudness in instructions here, and I would go from mezzo forte to forte, and it's louder all of a sudden. And once we get through the fill, I would go back to mezzo forte, and just make this one a whole note, and we'll stop it here on a crash. So it would sound like this. So you can almost not hear the toms for the kick, because the kick is so loud. You can use the semicolon, I think. So here I pressed Shift and comma. That is the semicolon on the Mac at least, and it makes the note that you're standing on an accentuated note. Means it's louder than it would have been otherwise. See if I can hear the fill now. Yeah, maybe. This is a problem that's mostly apparent when you have a double kick and toms that you want to hear over that. You can't really hear the toms on this one. Anyway, so long as you know what you're doing and we can see it and hear it, I suppose we'll make it work. What you can also do here is you have 4 voices over here, so you can keep the toms and on one voice and the kicks on one voice. Say I were to now just copy this out and go to voice 2, paste it in again, and just delete all the kicks. Actually delete everything except for the toms. Yeah, this is going to look messy. I can show you how to do it a bit cleaner. And now I only have the toms here, and they are on forte, and I go to voice 1 and delete the forte here, put it back to mezzo forte, so there's no change in intensity, and I delete the toms from this voice. So this would be one other way of doing it. Now I go to this one, multi-voice, so I can see them all at the same time. You could also take the entire kick drum to a different voice, number 3, and take it one down, say down to piano instead of mezzo piano, or rubbish, we're on mezzo forte, take it down to mezzo piano instead of mezzo forte. There are a few ways. This is crappy for drum sound, but this is excellent for drum composition. So if you can live with the horrible sounds and some of the ways this works, this is really the fastest and most convenient way for us to compose music. The guitar doesn't sound that great either, to be honest, but once you get used to it, it's like, you know, a blueprint for the music. It's like I suppose an engineer working in AutoCAD. You don't need to work with a building to design it. All you need is an idea how to do it, and that's how I view this to songs. I mean, we're composing songs here. It sounds like crap. It's not a song. Once you have the composition planned out and you record it, then it becomes a song. Don't let the horribleness of these sounds discourage you. This was a very fast overview. I hope it helps. If you have more specific questions, something you'd like me to go over more slowly or in more detail, please ask. So over and out.